Hello Internet, and welcome back to the YouTube channel of all things Raijinverse. That was not my intro. Today's video is on how Netflix is adapting the Kane Chronicles into movies. Like my Disney Plus video on Percy Jackson, this is just a message to Netflix more than anything else. The message is, please don't ruin this for us. Get it right, or I will personally eat you into... not Tartarus. The duat. I will personally yeet you into the deepest level of the duat. This isn't going to work. I don't even know how you pronounce duat. Point is, I will be very mad, and so will all the other Kane Chronicles fans. First off, please do not downplay or overlook or deem unimportant Carter and Sadie's sibling bond. To me, what was so refreshing about the Kane Chronicles was that the two main protagonists were connected by the fact that they were brother and sister rather than having a romantic relationship. Not to say I dislike the couples or romances in the Raijinverse, but especially at the young age, like middle schoolers and under that these books are aimed at that age, most people don't have love lives beyond a simple crush. But a number of people at that age have siblings. Carter and Sadie, who are a brother and sister, helping each other cope with their dad's passing and their strange new situation, is much more relatable to a lot of kids than a romantic partner who helps you in that way. Carter, realizing that for the first time since he was 8, he now has to play the role of big brother and reassure Sadie, who, just beneath all the combat boots, hair dye, and Avril Lavigne fangirling, is terrified. Though both do form romances during the trilogy, the Kane Chronicles feels different from the other Raijinverse series to me, because it feels like it's mainly about Carter and Sadie. A more relatable to kids sibling relationship rather than a romantic one like Percy and Annabeth, Jason and Piper, Hazel and Frank, Calypso and Leo, Magnus and Alex. This makes Trials of Apollo even more relatable because it's a sibling-like relationship, but it's a friendship. But anyways, we're talking about Carter and Sadie. I just hope they don't spend less time than the books spent on Carter and Sadie's connection in favor of the ships, just because romance is more popular or marketable or whatever. Anyways, I am greatly looking forward to seeing Carter and Sadie's sibling dynamic, by which I mean their constant bickering and Sadie insistently calling Carter a dork. Another thing, Carter, Amos, Zia, Walt, Iskandar, and Bast are all people of color and should not be erased. It's not that hard to find black actors, Netflix. Do not whitewash. We love the Raijinverse because it's diverse and gives all different types of people representation. Do not take that away. Carter and Sadie are biracial siblings, Sadie and Walter are a biracial couple, and you better not erase it. I could insist upon this for hours, but I don't want to repeat myself, and I don't think you guys want that either. I also hope they don't exclude the side characters, which I did talk about in my Disney Plus's Adapting Percy Jackson video, but what can I say? I like the side characters. Between Felix the penguin-loving 10-year-old and Shelby the violent ankle-biter, I think the side magicians really add something to the story. And Netflix, if you could avoid excluding the non-human characters, I'd appreciate it. The fact that there is a Blade sea captain, a basketball-living baboon, and a sentient crocodile made of clay is really what makes it seem like a Rick Riordan story to me. I'm really crossing my fingers about how Netflix treats the gods, because the gods from Kane Chronicles seem so different from the ones in Percy Jackson and Magnus Chase. As in, they're nicer. Bast cares so much about Carter and Sadie. She owns up to her mistakes and how she treated Bast. I don't think there's any godly character like Bast, except for maybe Apollo, but that's obviously a different story since he had 5 books dedicated to that journey and character arc. Point is, Bast is such a great character, and I'm so excited to see where they take her in the movies. My god, that feels so weird to say, talking about the Raijinverse and movies at the same time, but with a hopeful tone. Bast is such a nice character. Please do him justice. Tower Red as well, who is basically an angel in disguise, and if you don't portray her as such, I will yeet you into the duat. One thing I'm curious about is what they're doing with the special effects, because sure, that's important for the Percy Jackson adaptation too, but that strikes me more as choreographed fighting and stuff, but magicians, unlike demigods, fight with spells pretty much all the time. I think it may be better if they animate instead of doing live action, but you know what? The fact that we're getting an adaptation that seems like it's going to be faithful to the books is awesome in itself, and it won't do us any good to be picky. Like I said, I'm just wondering what they'll do for the special effects, like the Hall of Ages and the magic hieroglyphs and whatnot. I've always seen those as more whimsical, magical, maybe a little cartoonish, so given that it's live action, I'm curious to see what Netflix is going to do. I just hope that it looks good and that it gives off Kane Chronicles vibes, you know? Now, just because I have a lot to say about Carter and Sadie's sibling bond doesn't mean I have nothing to say about the romances they form. Zia and Carter are such a cute couple. They are so precious. I don't know what Netflix could possibly do wrong portraying these angels. Sadie's love triangle is Interesting. I hope Netflix does a good job of allowing us to root for both Sadie and Walt and Sadie and Anubis so that we can all fangirl like crazy when they merge into the same person. Anyways, I guess that's it for today's weirdness. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it wasn't too short, and peace out until next week. P.S. Zia Rashid is a total and if you even slightly ignore that or downplay her trauma whatsoever at all, I will stomp on you with Sadie's combat boots. Okay, bye!